I was wearing, no joke, like 5 layers of clothes, big trench coat on top of like other coats and stuff like that. But I was being funny about it, and I was like making stories on Instagram. I was like, man, look at how fresh I look and this and that. And she had like DM'd me and said, oh man, you look fresh with like 4 H's. And I was like, 4 H's is a little flirty. So start messaging back.
I never wanted to be a coach either. I just love teaching people things. When I first started my YouTube channel, I learned how to create a form and I learned how to create a website. And I just was doing videos because I knew there were people like me who had a business and just didn't know how to do these things. You feel like, okay, I figured out the recipe. Now I need to share this with other people. I just need to do it. And it's so fun and it's so rewarding.
I went home that day, waited for my sister to get home, and then my mom like pulls us into a room. She's like, your dad went to jail today. And I was like, okay, he drinks, probably like drinking and driving. She was like, I don't know when he's gonna get out or if he's gonna get out. And she was crying. And I never seen my mom like ever. And I just knew I never wanted to see that again. Whatever I had to do, never gonna let my mom cry again. Because I could just tell like she had no clue what she was gonna do. Because my dad was like bringing home all the money. So I was like, all right, I got this. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do, but it was up to me.
All right. Welcome, Mr. Jeff Lopez. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, honor.
So, Jeff, first of all, congratulations on winning the Gold SAS Award and speaking on stage at the High Level Summit.
Thank you.
So for the people who are unfamiliar, can you just say, a little bit about like your business, who you serve, and basically like how you use High Level?
Yeah, so I've run an agency in the chiropractic space for the last 6 years. I recently exited that agency back in December, but we still have clients now that we are selling AI employee to and just managing their AI employees to follow up with leads. Previously, it was lead gen. And then, we had tried call centers, we had tried VAs to like follow up with people's leads. And then once we replaced the call centers with AI, I was like, holy crap, there's something here. And we've started selling a lot of AI employees to many different industries now, but specifically pretty much just AI employees.
So why did you decide to sell the agency and start something new?
So agency was going good. We were super deep in our niche, ads, sales training, started a supplement company and partnered with a big device manufacturer to roll that out. But again, once I saw how well the AI worked for our clients, it was one of those things where like, it's proven to be good for us, but one of those things where I was like, this feels like getting into the internet early, if that makes sense. Like this feels like AI is going to explode. And I truly felt like it was one of those scenarios where like, if I didn't like shed some of the stuff that was slowing me down to kind of pick up some market share in the AI space, it would cost me more by hanging on to it. And randomly, I like joked with my business partner. I was like, man, I wish we could find somebody to sell this to so I could go all in on AI. And he came back to me a few weeks later. He's like, dude, he's like, crazy, but I'll buy you out if you want. And I was like, well, and then I was like, oh my gosh, it's real. Like, let's figure this out. And it took about 6 months for me to like decide and let it go and make all the necessary changes to like, offboard it from me. But it was one of those things like I really did not want to miss the AI wave. And it's proven to be the best decision that I could have made.
So did you have, when you had your agency before, was that through High Level or were you working with another company?
Oh no, that was through High Level. I've been with High Level since 2019. We're a big affiliate for High Level only because I referred some of the big people in High Level and like the sub affiliate commission. Like, we've made like close to $400,000 in affiliate commissions that I give all to my mom. So I've retired my mom from sub affiliate commissions from High Level because I was one of the first users.
That's awesome. So you signed up, so you're like an OG with High Level. So you signed up in like 2019?
Yeah. Like, I think I was number 750 or 790th customer. Yeah.
Love it. See, I'm
Wow,
not
I didn't
that
realize
OG.
you were longer than me.
I know, I'm surprised. Like, it's rare that I find somebody like with a lower number, and I didn't know until somebody pointed it out. They're like, "Dude, you're like customer 795," and I was like, "That good?" Like, I'm like 3,000. I thought I was early.
Yeah, I'm like 1,000 something. So
Yeah, you're right there with me. It's probably in the same month. So
yeah, probably so.
Did Sean Clark sign you up himself?
No, it was actually David Murillo. I don't know if you guys know David Murillo. he was telling me about it, and I signed up under his affiliate. But I mean, I had communicated quite a bit with Sean because coming from Zapier and all the different softwares, like it was a bit of a learning curve. And funny story with High Level, I got it early and I didn't use it for 3 months because like it looked like rocket science to me. Like I was a fresh new marketer when I got it. I had just figured out how to, connect all these softwares with Zapier. And then I got that and it was like trigonometry. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, what is all this stuff? So then I think I had reached out to Sean. Sean is incredible. I don't know how he does it still to this day, but I mean, he would hop on calls with me. He had did interviews and like where I was teaching other people how to use High Level early on. He still does that to this day. It's insane.
So let's go back. Like we mentioned, I've known you for a long time, and I
Mhm.
remember like Jeff from way back. I want you to talk about the Jeff from way back.
How far
Tell it.
how far back you want me to go? You want me to go before High Level or
Yes.
like
The Jeff that I knew that was easing into high level, had a little twang.
yeah.
Talk about that Jeff, because
Yeah.
those are instrumental pivots in our life and in our business. And
Mhm.
I really want you to share kind of that person who you were and how you began to evolve. Like I want to know the how and the why
Okay.
behind
Well, definitely cut me off if I start yapping too much,
that.
and definitely ask questions if you want me to go deeper.
Yeah.
So before I got into online marketing, like I was actually a professional audio engineer in Houston. I know that's a weird transition. So like what that means is I was the guy in the studio that recorded all the artists, mixing all the instruments together, getting it ready for the radio, making it sound like a production. That being said, though, it was in the hip hop industry, and if you listen to anything hip hop and they talk about the guns and shooting up stuff, that was pretty much the life that I lived. Like my studio got shot up a total of 3 times, which sounds absolutely crazy. I literally had bullets go through the wall 6 inches away from me, like the third time. And it was one of those things where like it was like I'm gonna end up wrong place, wrong time, or going to jail for something I had nothing to do with, just because the environment that I'm working in. That same night, like no joke, I went home and I'm like, I mean, obviously a little shaken up. Like that was it was like kind of like that wake up call. But that night I was like Googling all kinds of things. But I think the one that like I started finding some stuff was like how to make money online. And I think it was Russell Brunson was doing like his webinar hacks funnel or webinar at the time. I watched that. I think I watched like 6 hours of webinars that night. No joke. Like I watched Sam Ovens like consulting one, and I watched Dan Henry's like Facebook ads for entrepreneurs. I was also very broke. So like I got the free plus shipping.com secrets. That book came. I remember like I feel like a little schoolgirl, like the way I feel like I remember reading that. Like I was upside down on the bed, like my head hanging off, like cover to cover, read that thing in a night. And again, I was like, okay, yeah, this funnel thing makes sense. Running ads for businesses makes sense. And it's funny, I always joke because like I had to bootleg Dan Henry's course. Like I told him this one day, I had to bootleg his course because I couldn't afford it to like learn how to do this stuff. And then I say hit the road. I mean, I was going and knocking on doors of like every business in Houston. Like I'm talking nail salons, pizza shops, chiropractors. I was getting kicked out of places because I did have quite a twang to me that I did not know. Cause working in the hip hop industry, had a little kind of slang and kind of hood sound to my voice, which I didn't notice until many years after. But I'd get kicked out of places, and to be honest, like it didn't go well for me for like the first 3 months. Like I was like, this is not working. Like I was still having to do the music thing, still wondering what each day would bring. And I had to borrow money from my ex-girlfriend's dad at the time. I was like, sir, like I am literally going to end up dead if I stay working and doing this stuff. I was like, can you give me enough money to like break my lease? I'm going to move back to my grandma's house in Kansas because I want to figure out this other thing. Like I know it's not going well right now, but like if you just give me a shot, give me enough money to get back to Kansas, like I'm gonna start fresh. I promise I'll pay you back. Bless his heart, he did. And I moved back to Kansas. I'm sleeping on a couch in my grandparents' basement. Like people like talk about crazy stories like that. Like not even joking. Not a comfortable couch, living off gas station food, and like another probably go a little deeper here. My dad had just gotten out of prison too, so he was living at my grandma's house in this basement. So like we didn't have rooms. Like he'd sleep on one side, I'd be on the couch on the other side. He's snoring all night. And I only say that because like it was really hard to work. Like I'd have to go to the donut shop in Wichita, Kansas, because it was the only place open 24 hours that had Wi-Fi. And every night I'm like, who am I going to reach out to tomorrow? I'm listening to like Think and Grow Rich on Audible, doing all these things, making full on funnels to send to people tomorrow. Like, hey, I rebuilt this. This is what it could do. Da 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 da. And it was like another 3 months of like hardcore grinding, sending out videos. And I remember like it was yesterday, February 12th, 2019. I got my first person that said yes to a funnel build, $297. Shout out Tammy in Addison, Texas. I still talk to her to this day. It's pretty cool. The next day, I got my first, what I would call a big break. Like I got my first client for ads, and it was after a few failed sales calls. But like by the third sales call, like I was confident knowing what they were going to ask or like, what they wanted. Really good call. And by the end of it, he's like, man, sounds good. How do I get started? How much is it? I was like, nobody's ever ended a call like this. They're always like this sounded too easy. So like, I was like, $2,500 a month. And I was like, but I'll give you $1,000 off the first month so you can try it out. He's like, okay, cool. Send me an invoice. And I'm like, oh my God. Like he said, yes, like freaking out. I sent him the invoice. He pays it within like 20 minutes. Shout out Dr. Hoover. It's weird. He hit me up the day I was going to high level, level up summit. And I was like, dude, he has no clue. He like gave me such a start. But I swear to God, I cried, like right after he paid that invoice. Like it was the happiest moment of my life, but also it was like, man, it took so long to get that freaking first client. It changed everything for me. Like, oh my gosh, I can make money online. And then immediately after that, I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I've never had an ad campaign. Like I was terrified after that. So, I mean, that's kind of the backstory that got me into marketing, and definitely ask questions, but it was just, I didn't want to be another statistic or wrong place, wrong time type of situation.
What kept you from, so being in that situation,
Mhm.
the bullets are flying and you're like, something has to change. What made you just go all in on a business idea over like, I just need to get a job?
Yeah. Well, so I guess if we rewind a little further, like I've been an entrepreneur since I was 20 years old. I used to work for Sprint before that, and I ranked up to manager. I think I was the youngest manager in Sprint's history at the time. I'm sure there's been others now, but and then I started training for district manager, and they're like, okay, taking you into this program, this training, you got to be willing to move at the drop of a pin. And like he literally said, he's like, if we want you in California, you got to up and go to California. If we want you in Ohio, got to go to Ohio. And I really didn't like that, not being able to control my own destiny. So I started looking at like other opportunities, and the manager that I had replaced, which I didn't know he was bitter about it for like until like years later, but I guess I took his spot. But he had started a cell phone accessory company, and he was just talking to me one day. He's like, gave me a business card. I'm like, what's this? He's like, it's my business card. I was like, wait, this isn't Sprint. Like, what is it? And he was like telling me, and he's like CEO. He's like, man, he's like, I could put King on there if I want. He's like, I got my own business now. And I was like, well, what are you doing? Like, and then I'm like the type of person, I'm like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. And then again, having that conversation, like having to move at the drop of a pen, I didn't like that. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just do what he does. So I started cell phone accessory stores, and I'm talking like the little kiosks and malls that you try to avoid when you're there. Like, they're trying to stop you. That was me. So I'd run those, and I got to like 12 locations across 3 states and did very well with that before I decided I wanted to be a rapper, because that was the greatest business decision of my life. Just being very sarcastic. So I had a background of like working for myself probably 10 years before I got into the music industry. Well, probably 6 years before I got into the music industry. And just, I knew what it could bring, like being my own boss, making my own paychecks and stuff like that. The music thing was really cool. I got to work with some, huge artists, like every artist you can think of in the music space. I've probably worked with them except Drake. We did have some stuff get on his radio station, but so I was like, okay, I'm not going back to the job. Can't do the dollars per hour or hour. Yeah, what is it? Dollars per hour type situation. And the make money online thing made so much sense to me, because like I knew as a business owner previously, like hardest thing was getting customers, getting clients. And I did the grunt work of going and creating relationships, pitching people as they walk by, and like the hard manual labor. So when I saw Dan Henry talking about these Facebook ads, it just made sense. And like there was no in my mind that it wouldn't work. Like it will work. I just got to figure out how to make it work. Like there was no other option.
So can you tell me a little bit about, so you said that you moved in with your grandma and your dad
Mhm.
got out of prison. I don't think that I've mentioned this a lot, but my biological dad spent most of my childhood in and out of prison as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know
So,
that.
yeah, I'm very blessed to have a mother. But you didn't mention anything about your mom. So can you talk a little bit about that if you're
Yeah,
comfortable?
shout out to my mom. She's absolute angel.
Are you a coach or consultant trying to build your business with high level, but feeling overwhelmed and overworked? Are you putting in long hours, but still struggling to land your first client? You're not alone. Many entrepreneurs believe they just need to work harder. But what if your problem isn't your work ethic, but your lack of a system? I've spent the last 6 years perfecting a system called the Vision Blueprint. It's a structured method to build a successful business with high level without the burnout. Stop the insanity of endless trial and error. Join my free community today and get access to all my tutorials plus live coaching with me 4 days a week. Let me personally guide you as you implement this system and build the life that you want, not just the business. Now, back to the conversation.
So I have a handicapped sister. My mom spends a lot of time taking care of her. She's close to 40 now. Like my sister, she got in a wreck when she was 6, like physically paralyzed, blind. So my mom takes care of her. And when my dad went to prison, it was when I was a sophomore in high school. Like I had just learned how to drive, and like a week later, like my dad's in prison, had no clue like he was doing anything he shouldn't be doing. So kind of flipped our lives upside down. So my mom would, and I have 4 sisters, so not just the handicapped one. So my mom would take care of us all. The reason I was kind of like working so hard and like sprint, and I got accepted to college but didn't go because I had to work to like help my mom and my sisters. So I would help them. My mom was just very supportive. My dad obviously wasn't around since I was a sophomore in high school. He actually got 65 years in prison. Like we did not think we would ever see him again. And then he got out. But my mom just stayed consistent, taking care of my sister. She works at WSU College. And one of the first things that I wanted to do when I started making money again was be able to take care of her. So like when I got that affiliate commission to like $5,000, sometimes $10,000 a month, like I gave that to my mom just because, I mean, for what she went through and still like goes through, like taking care of a handicapped child and dad going to prison for, well, I guess five children. Like, I mean, I can't say enough good things about her, but I mean, she's always been great. I got nothing bad to say about her.
Are you the oldest? Adult?
No, I'm actually the second youngest. So I got one younger sister and then I got 3 older sisters.
So you just were you the oldest, like male in the house?
I'm the only male. Yeah, I got 4 sisters.
Oh.
That's it. So
I'm just trying to get to the root cause of why you just immediately stepped up and you're like, okay, now I'm the man of the house. I'm going to take care of my mom. I'm going to do all these things.
Man, I'm gonna try not to cry here. Like, I don't think I've ever cried on like a podcast, but
It's
like,
okay. I'll cry with you.
Yeah, I'll be over here crying with you, Jeff. Go ahead.
The day I don't think my team's ever seen me cry either. The day my dad went to prison, I had no clue. And it's weird, like the timing. Like I played a joke. There was like this IP relay thing. I was dumb in high school, like, and like for deaf people, they could like call people over the internet. And like, me and my friends played a prank on my mom, like it was so stupid, by the way. Called and I was like, hey, there was a terrorist attack at our school and a bomb blew up and blew my ears off. Like so stupid. But then the person talking to my mom, like, and relaying it back on this thing, came back and was like, oh, she sounds really upset. And I'm like, oh my God, like I really made my mom really upset. So then I called her. She's like, don't play those jokes. Not today, not today. I don't think I've ever told this story. But anyway, I went home that day and waited for my sister to get home. And then my mom like pulls us into a room. It's like, I got to talk to you guys. And I was like, okay, what? And she's like, your dad went to jail today. And I was like, okay, he drinks. He's probably like drinking and driving. And I was like, what was he drinking and driving? She's like, no, he got picked up by feds or something. I don't know the exact words. And then she was like, I don't know when he's going to get out or if he's going to get out. And she was crying. And I'd never seen my mom cry, like, ever. And I just knew I never wanted to see that again. Whatever I had to do, never gonna let my mom cry again. Because I could just tell, like, she had no clue what she was gonna do. Because my dad was like bringing home all the money. So I was like, all right, I got this. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do, but it was up to me.
I love that.
I do too, Jeff. And I think that helps me understand more about your hustle spirit. Sorry, my mic was out of the way. But I think that helps me understand more about your hustle spirit because I know that you are a huge go getter. And I think that really helps frame who you are and where you came from. And so I also can't help but wonder, did that cause fear at, or is there any part of you that was scared in this beginning journey? Because I know, like, I mean, I still struggle with, imposter syndrome here or there. And, and I'm sure that those emotions come from a place of our childhood a lot of times. So can you tell us about that in the journey of becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't think I've ever been this shaken up in a long time.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. That really is the goal of it, because people want to know who the real entrepreneurs are. They want to work with real people, and that's exactly what this podcast is about. Is letting people know who Jeff is, because there's going to be so many people that resonate with you just because of your story and the things that you've been through.
Yeah.
It's hard to be vulnerable when people are watching and all of that. But it's inspiring for people. It's like, hearing you talk about that, it's like my dad was in and out of prison too. And so it's like, immediately I resonate with you because there's so many layers to that people don't really get, like the shame of it and just the responsibility that you feel, the lack of having both parents in your life. There's so many layers to it that I think a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we have these types of stories where it's like something has happened in our lives where our mindset shifts and we take on like this huge responsibility where failure is not an option because what's driving us is bigger than our fear of failure.
And that's a really good way to put it. That was kind of the mentality like I think I've always had since then, was figuring it out. I mean, I think like immediately after that, I ended up getting like 2 jobs. I was working at like Best Buy, and Office Depot. And then I was also working as a package handler at FedEx, like middle of the night. And I was like, one way or another, like I'm gonna make money, like we're gonna be good. Luckily, I mean, when my dad went to prison, we had moved in with my grandpa. Damn, I think another cry fest is getting ready to happen. I forgot about this. But yeah, we moved in with my grandpa, and like his social security was like paying for the house, stuff like that. And I was working and I was helping out, and like we were making it, like it was good. And then I remember, man, gosh, I hope I'm about to be waterworks today. I don't know what is going on. But I remember waking up one day, my mom screaming, and then like going downstairs and like she's screaming hysterical. My sister screaming as well, and like my grandpa had like died in his sleep. It was like on the floor, like blue, and looking at me like do something. And I mean, he was long gone. But then again, it was kind of like that reminder, like, I mean, she really didn't know what she was going to do after that, like with him covering the house and all that stuff. So that's when I started looking for better opportunities. And I think I just happened to be like at a Sprint and looking at a phone or something, and somebody was like, man, you could probably do this. And I was like, oh, what do you guys make? And like he was telling me, and I was like, oh, okay. Who could I talk to? Like can I get a job here? But I mean, it's like, just like you said, Bridget, it's one of those things like you can't like failure is not an option. Like failure, I mean, things don't always go like you plan. Like there's always twists and turns and stuff like that. But I know ultimately, like I'm a figure out and make it work because I have to, and that's kind of the mentality I've always had. I will say, it did force me to come out of my comfort zone quite a bit because, like, I was very quiet, introverted, like the video game kid. I built computers and like stuff like that. To then have to go work in these sales jobs and talk to lots and lots of people. But again, not being able to control my own destiny. And at that time, like when they said I had to move, I was like, well, I'm helping take care of like my family here. Like you can't just move me away from them. I did end up moving down to Texas because that's where the opportunity was for like the cell phone accessory store, which not like in a braggy way, but like very first day we opened, like we had the best day that any store in that like franchise or like that company had ever had, best month. And like, but it's always like this drive of like, one, I can't fail, but two, like I've always been competitive, always played sports. I never want to be number two at anything. So there's like both of those things are like always motivating me. Like if I get into something, I'm gonna do it bigger, better, faster than anybody's ever done it, and not in a braggy way. And it's not for anything other than like I just know what I'm capable of, especially after having to go through all this stuff and always making it work. And I think like it just like that drive for some reason just keeps getting bigger and bigger for me. And then my motivation now is like, and I pray every day. Like, one of the things I say, and I don't have traditional prayers and stuff like that, but like, I want to work to where nobody ever around me ever has to worry about money again. Cause like, it's a shitty place to be. Like when you're thinking about this, like where are you going to eat, where are you going to stay, stuff like that. So just try to failure not being an option and just trying to put as much distance in between that and where I'm at as possible. Like always going to be the driver.
When my mom passed away in 2019, she was in the hospital for about a week, and she and my stepdad were having financial issues and didn't have insurance, things like that. So the doctor came in and said, if she recovers, if she pulls through from this, it's probably going to be months in rehab and all of this stuff. And I looked at my stepdad's face, and it was like the amount of like pressure and weight that I could see on his face of like, here my wife is dying of 30, wife of 30 years, here she is dying. And I don't know how we're going to pay if she doesn't. Like if she doesn't die, if she does live.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird, like double-edged sword. Like if she dies, I'm devastated. If she lives, we're financially devastated. So it's like seeing the look on his face in that situation, I just told myself, my husband will never be in this position. And I thought of myself being in that position where it's like you're going through something so devastating, and then you have to worry about the money, which I'm sure your mom felt when your dad went to prison. My mom felt too, being a single mom with, two little kids before she met my stepdad. So it's like, I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're kind of like, oh, you get this new car and all of that stuff. That's what people see on the outside. But what they don't see behind the story is before we got the new car, before, when we're struggling and we're crying ourselves to sleep at night, or we're watching our parents be, devastated financially or emotionally and things like that. So I love that you're sharing this because I think we've all been through things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I always, I still look at it as, even though it like really, really sucked to have went through, ultimately, like, I don't think I'd be the same me if like I didn't go through all of that stuff. So like, I can't say I'd wish that on my mom or anybody else involved, but like, if I had to repeat my life the same way, I'd probably do it the same, because I think it's given me a pretty good perspective. And then also like before my dad went to prison, like we didn't really have to worry about money. Like we weren't rich or anything, but like I didn't know all the stuff behind the scenes. But it definitely gives me like an idea of like what people might be going through. And like, and just so everybody knows, like now that we're doing more of the coaching stuff with like marketing, like I never wanted to be like a coach or a guru or anything like that. I just got tired of seeing people that I've known for years stuck in the same cycle of trying to figure it out and this and that. And I'm I just don't want anybody to ever have to worry about money. I feel like it's so silly, because it's so easy to make money out here. And I've only learned that because like I've forced myself to do all these different things and been moderately to very successful in a lot of different things. And I'm just like, it's all relative. It's just like such a perspective. And I broke that mindset, like not on purpose, like because I had to. And then like now it's just like in me. And then if I can help people break that mindset as well, like that's also what helps like fuel everything. It's just, yeah, money problems are weird. Like you're right. Like people always see like the cars and stuff like that. And I never even really posted that stuff until lately. My team's starting to post like more like the lifestyle stuff because people like want to see it. But I never wanted to brag about that stuff. Like my biggest flex was like being able to retire my mom, getting her a brand new Toyota Sienna minivan, like that fits my sister's wheelchair. Like that was like the happiest day of my life.
Before I even really started doing well financially, right before my mom passed away, I bought her like this $2,000 van. It was like certainly not like a big deal, but she didn't have one. And I still had, it was like one of the last times I like saw her outside the hospital. And we still have this video of her pulling out of my driveway and saying, "I love you guys." And it's like the cutest little video. I just think really, I could buy anything in the whole world and nothing is going to give me more joy than seeing her get in that van and just driving away like, "Love you guys." I will never forget that. It's so awesome. No
Yeah,
house
I don't
you
know.
buy, no car you buy, nothing will
Uh,
be better than that.
I don't know what you guys did to be honest, but I felt that. Yeah.
Well,
uh,
I think that again, I think that, being vulnerable and letting people know who we are is so hard to do. I know, or it is for me. Maybe it's not for other people, but it's very difficult for me. And I'm just now starting to kind of come into that, that space. So, this has been great getting to know more about you. Now, I also would like to know a little bit about kind of in terms of, I know you've got some team members now, and you talked about the responsibility of carrying your family, but I think I'd love for you to speak about the responsibility of carrying your team, because you have gone into a larger, more production style company. And so can you speak to that?
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, in exiting my agency, we went down from 12 plus like 6 overseas to now it's just me and plus 3. But I mean, one like the gentleman here now, Ian, he does like all my media stuff. I mean, he's been with me since Sprint. Like he was the tech at Sprint, and he's like followed
Shout
me
out to
along.
Ian.
Yeah, shout out to Ian. I mean, he's literally there. Anything I need, always. And then like, I mean, just the people around me, like I really like finding people that in my last agency, I mean, it was a few of those people were childhood friends to, my assistant and my other businesses and stuff, and just like really wanting to help them out.
Does it feel like snapshots are either too basic to help or too complex to fit your business? Trying to untangle someone else's workflows can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be that way. I'm Marla, and I work with agencies and business owners to design and build custom CRM and AI systems that actually align with how you operate your business. If you're tired of trying to do it all yourself, let's connect. Reach out at marlaharmon.com.
I will say the responsibility is always there because you always got to make payroll and stuff like that. And there's been some times where it gets, I'm sitting up against that wall, balled up like a baby, like, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to do it. But I will say I don't necessarily worry about that stuff anymore. I mean, and don't get me wrong, like my life's not straight up. Like it's still like bumpy. But I just know we're always going to figure it out. And like they understand the game and they're willing to put in, what it is to make it work no matter what we go into. Like I think my obsession over wanting to be the best at what we do and not playing at like a small level, and then also like just them being around me for so long, like I think that passion has kind of wore off on them, and we've really all probably got to this point where it's not necessarily about the money at all. Like I mean, the money to me is more validation that what we're doing is working and we're helping people, because if it wasn't, people wouldn't be paying us. And it's really cool that like that mindset's kind of the philosophy around here. Now, of course, everybody always wants to make more, et cetera, but like everybody's really content with what we're doing because like we're happy. Like we've been doing a lot of like, community building now. And like we've been hosting a lot of events. I thought I didn't even like events that long ago. We're doing another event in Dallas on Sunday. We just did a mastermind yesterday. And it's just like everybody's just happy to be a part of this journey. And like it's weird because like early on in my marketing career and stuff, like it was like stressful, like not knowing and the twists and turns. And like, Jeff wakes up one day, it might be completely different than what we said yesterday. And like having to go along with it. But now it's like they understand how it works. And they're just happy to be part of the journey. I mean, it's crazy as ambitious as it sounds. Like I'm shooting for the next acquisition.com, like plus.com. Like that's my benchmark and everybody's marching toward that. So I wouldn't say there's pressure because these guys work just as hard as I do, and together we have a saying like we're never number two, we're never gonna lose. Like, so that's kind of a philosophy for us.
Hey, I
Yeah.
gotta know though. So you said that the people, some of the people that work with you, they were friends, like childhood
Mhm.
friends.
Yeah.
So as you started, like when you started this business and you started transitioning and like things were really taking off, and you're like, oh wow, this isn't just some internet thing. This is actually working out.
Mhm.
I gotta know, were the people in your life like super supportive of that, or were they like, how are you making all this money? You know, like, whatever, Jeff, you know, like, I'm not getting involved. Because here's why I asked that. I was like, whoa, this thing is like, I can't believe this business is taking off. And I just immediately wanted to bring everybody with me, all my
Yeah.
family, all my friends. And then
Like, get in the car.
yeah,
Yeah.
then I quickly started losing family and friends because they don't want to be involved in any of this, and it really kind of caused some issues. And then, you know, I think jealousy takes
Always. Yeah.
into account for all of that. So were there any like people in your life that you just, you had problems like that where you're just like, I guess I can't, I can't reach this next level and have these types of people in my life.
Um, with the marketing company specifically, no, not really. I had went through all of that with my previous company of starting cell phone repair stores because I went from like making six figures at like 18, 19 years old to I'm going to start a little kiosk in the mall. Absolutely nobody believed in that. Thought it was the dumbest decision ever. Um, Turned out to be a really, really good decision. Had went through hiring some of the friends that thought that they were going to come and, just get a free ride because they, Jeff's the business owner. And I had went through all of that very painstakingly in my first run of businesses. And then so in the agency itself, the people that I brought on there, and it was only a few, and then the rest we hired through like meeting people online, stuff like that. Um, they were the ones that were the supportive ones throughout that endeavor and like just always supported me. So I was like, I knew as soon as I get on and like get this thing figured out, I'm bringing you on. So like that was always like in my mind, even when I was struggling to get the clients, it was like, I'm gonna figure this thing out and then I'm bringing you on. Like, what do you make? Okay, I'm gonna replace that. Like, and it took a little longer than we had like expected, but I did hit those benchmarks. I did bring these people on, did replace what they were making, et cetera. And it was never a question if I would have done it. But like you said, though, when you're first building something, nobody's ever going to believe it. Now, I will say the funny thing, when I started building the agency, this was probably the most money that I made ever as fast as we made it. We went from, I got that first ads client on February 13th of 2019. By end of August 2019, we were over $83,000 a month, $1 million run rate. And I had my first $30,000 week. I think it was like 31,000 bucks. And I was obviously giddy as you can be when you make that much money in a week. My mom was like, Jeffrey, is this legal what you're doing? Like, and it was like really questioning, like, that's not even possible. Like, I make a little more than that each year. Like, you can't be doing something legal. My bank at the time, I was using a small bank. Wish I could unshout them out. I don't like those guys, but they ran my credit because they thought I was up to something suspicious and, high risk, like illegally ran my credit because we were making so much money so fast and out of nowhere too. And maybe rightfully so, but it was still kind of a not fun situation. But because, go from missing payments, cars about to get repossessed to like a few months later, $30,000 a week, almost $100,000 a month. So, there was a lot of pushback that I didn't expect, like in growing. And I learned to not talk about it as much because there was two things that would happen. Either people, you're full of shit, like, and apologize my language, or two, you're bragging. And like, I really like, and I always try to tell, like, anything I say, I'm not bragging because believe me, I am not even 1/10 of where I want to be. Like, y'all see me as like successful, this, that, like, I'm not, I don't feel that way until I'm up there with Alex or Mosey, the Elon Musk, and that sounds crazy to people, but like, that's like the standard I want to hold myself to. So like when I do talk about these little things or making that much money, people just thought it was bragging, and then the jealousy sets in, and then it's, you start hearing things about yourself from other people that aren't even true. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to learn to keep quiet.
Yeah, I think that I definitely have experienced that a lot. And I think that's also why I really enjoy talking to other business owners. Because when you talk to other business owners and you say, oh my gosh, we just did a $30,000 week, all of us are like, yes, I'm so excited for you. Go, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because we know what it takes to do that. We know the struggle. We're in it or we've been there. But when we tell other people, they have the same reaction like, is this legal? Like,
Yeah.
something's weird. And I also think that's kind of their inner dialogue speaking, like,
Mhm.
because if they take responsibility for believing that it's true, then they have to ask themselves, why am I not making $30,000 in a week?
Mhm.
And I think that's really where it lies. Like, people would rather believe that it's not true than believe that it is possible, and they're just not doing the things that help them reach that goal.
Yeah, that's definitely a more unsettling thought for most. But yeah, they're definitely usually projecting those inner doubts and stuff
Mhm.
onto you.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Whenever talking about posting, successes and things online, I know for me, I definitely try and do it from a place of being humble, but I think I also do it so that other people can know how it could be, for
What's
them,
possible? Yeah.
what's possible. Yeah, because if we don't share those, people don't understand how their circumstances can change. And I always think of it from, I can't gatekeep the success that my clients are having, because other people need to come behind and see that so that they aren't in the same situation that they used to be. And so kind of with that, do you have any type of, situations where, that you can share where you truly felt like, wow, I impacted this person exponentially. Like I helped change their business, or I helped change their
All
life. I mean, I know that you make a lot of impact in a lot of people. But is there anything that just kind of really sticks out?
um I mean, as bad as it sounds, like all the time now. I mean, we're going 100
Yeah.
miles an hour in a couple different directions. Um, One of my favorite things is I love helping like marketers land high ticket deals because many of them do not see themselves charging money like that. I've had many marketers like they close a deal following like what I tell them, and like even if it's $2,000 or $5,000, and it unbreaks their brain, or like it starts to unlock it and to show you what's possible. Those are some really good feelings. I mean, I just did a training. I train doctors on a weekly basis on Wednesdays. I had a lady at the end of that, and we'd had previous conversations after the trainings with this lady, and a couple months ago, she's like, "I'm struggling. I'm about to close my doors." And then last week, I had talked to her after the thing, and it's like, "Yeah, I have this goal." And so at the end, I'm like, "All right, any other questions or anything like that?" And she's like, Jeff. And I was like, "Oh no, don't bring down the tone of the training. It was such a good training." And she's like, "I got to tell you, thank you." She's like, "I had my goal, 40,000 for the month, and I hit it. Well, I didn't hit it." She's like, "I almost hit it." And she's like, "I just want to let you know, like, I was about to call it quits and crying almost every night. And like coming to these trainings, like, changed everything. Like, I just followed what you did and I almost hit my goal." She's like, "I'm going to hit it." Like, and literally, like she said, from almost calling it quits and crying every night to like hitting this goal and like seeing what was possible. Like, I mean, I have a lot of stories like that with even doctors too. Like, I mean, there was another gentleman, a medical doctor of 20 years, that was he said, hang up his coat and then go back and work at the hospital versus running his own business, and help turn that around. Those feel really good. Because again, like, not in like I hope this doesn't come off wrong, but like it's really easy to make money like online. Like it really is, like for local businesses, for marketers, for whoever. It's usually the smallest adjustments or giving bumpers or guidelines to follow, and you just go down the path. And like most people are just so in their head, either I can't do it, giving themselves a million reasons why it's not going to work, and they just defeat themselves before they just actually put in these simple reps. So I mean, all the time it happens where somebody's closing a deal or things start working out. And I always tell them, I was like, you start doing this stuff, you start just doing the motions, like people will start giving you money. I was like, you're gonna get to a point where it feels like people are throwing money at you. And I was like, it's this whole other side of life where the sky is brighter, you could smell smells better. Like, it sounds so fun, but it's like, it's so true. So like, I just love getting people to that other side of life. And I always say, like, I'm not gonna say, oh, we'll get you X amount of dollars. Like, I just want to help you create your version of success, whatever that is. For some, you might have disabled child you're hoping to be able to take care of better, pay medical bills, etc. For Some it's, one guy, shout out Joshua Wells. He just messaged me today. We sent his kid a hat, plus plus hat, and it's hat day at school. So he's wearing the plus plus hat to school. Made my morning. Um, but he's like, I want to retire my wife. Like she's a school teacher. She has to sign her contract in December, and he's in bot launch, and he was able to retire his wife to where she didn't have to like re-sign that contract, and like that was his goal, and I knew it, and like he was so thankful for that, and I'm just like, it's so cool to be a part of that because like everybody's story is different. I just like help unbreaking people's brains because I mean, if you grow up like I did, probably like you guys did as well, you only see like what you're told and like what's normal. This whole internet is just, it takes some conditioning of the mind to like really understand what's possible. But when people start seeing it, I feel like that's when life begins. And I really like helping people get to that point.
It is so
Absolutely.
rewarding to help people to reach their goals. And you're so right. People really just get totally stuck in their own heads and just get completely overwhelmed. And I never wanted to be a coach either. I just love teaching people things. And it's like when I first started my YouTube channel, I just had a local business and I just was creating things. Like I learned how to create a form and I learned how to create a website. And I just was doing videos because I knew there were
Yeah.
people like me who had a business and just didn't know how to do these things. And I think it almost like when you get to this point where you've been able to do the things that you set out to do and you understand this magic of automation, it's almost like this responsibility that you feel like, okay, I figured out the recipe. Now I need to share this with other people. I just
Mhm.
need to do it. And it's so fun and it's so rewarding.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's so many people that like gatekeep secrets and stuff. And if anybody's ever been to one of my like I will literally like lay it all out there. Like I just want you to be successful. Like, and then in teaching the stuff, like it's not like our big motivators to like not make a gazillion dollars from other marketers. Like it's just like I just want to share what's working. Like you said, like I'm so excited when I put together a webinar and it freaking works, or an ad campaign. It's like every time it feels good. It's like, dang, I did that. Like you feel like a freaking superhero. And then yeah, just showing others like the steps I took to get there, and then when they recreate it, it's just like that feeling, as corny as it sounds, is so much better than me. Like somebody else closing $1,000 deal for the first time trumps me closing a $35,000 deal. Like I swear to God, like it is so much better of a feeling when somebody does something they never thought they could do,
Yeah.
even if it's a small scale to us, but like that's everything to them. Like that is like the biggest shot of adrenaline, best drug in the world. Like,
I feel the same way. Like whenever I'm able to bring on a new client and take them from no deals to doing, two, three, four, five deals a month,
yep,
and do it in a pretty quick. That's so powerful and it changes their life. And when they tell you, I was able to bring my wife home and she's able
yeah.
to homeschool my kid, it's, that kind of thing. You know that you're really impacting people and it's so powerful.
That's huge. Yeah. And like I said, like that, like being able to bring the kids home, homeschool. I mean, there's so many different versions of success or what that looks like for people or just like what they want. And again, like you never know what somebody's going through, but you should almost assume that everybody's going through something and their version of setbacks, holdbacks, what they wish they could do if they were making more money. And like, there's always those people out there like, money doesn't buy happiness. And I think it was Steve Larson. I just saw a quote. It was like, money doesn't buy happiness, but being broke doesn't buy anything. Um, and like, it's so true. Like, I mean, I'm not like a big advocate for like, I want to be the richest person in the world. And like earlier when I said I want to be like Alex Hormozy level, Elon Musk, it's not because of the money. Like I have everything that I want. Like there's nothing else that I want. Everything else would just be like because I have too much money, it's just a luxury to have. But like, um, it's just validation that what you're doing is making that big of an impact on the world and on people. And to me, it's just like points on the scoreboard of like people you helped. Like it's like more points, more people you helped. That's really how I look at it. So being able to just show people that other side of life, because I mean, what Dan Kennedy always says, it's 5% of people that got this money thing figured out. 95% of the world is out there struggling with something, like the whole SNAP benefits, all that stuff. I'm not going to get political, but like that probably, I think it said 1 in 8 Americans like were dependent on that stuff, were like had SNAP benefits and stuff. Like that's huge and probably crushing a lot of people that just don't know a better way of how to make money. And there's just so many people that just need this unlock.
You
It
know,
feels great when you help it.
Yeah, because there's a total different mindset. When you are struggling financially, that is at the top of mind. It's always like, how do I make more money? how do I start a business? I need to go back to school. I need to like get out of debt. I need to get a part-time job. It's like these are all the things that are top of mind. But when you have enough money, and you don't even have to be rich to get to this
Mhm.
point, but when you have enough money where your mindset shifts, instead of survival, you're like in thrive mode, then you instantly start thinking, what can I do now to help other people? What can I
Mhm.
do to help them financially, or, by coaching, or how can I give back in some way? Because now you have all this free time and this money, and your brain is not in this constant survival mode. It's a total different mind shift, and it's such a cool blessing to be able to help people transition from survival to thriving.
That
Total,
is
total reward.
That's very true. Yeah, everything you said, I would 1000% agree with. It is weird when you get to that point where like you're not necessarily worried about money, and then like your brain does start going that direction of like, how do I help more people? Like one of my things I want to do this next year is like I've been wanting to do like little back to school drives and like the backpacks and stuff for kids and the school supplies and stuff. Cause like I just remember what it was like when I was younger, and like thinking back, my mom having to raise four of us, and how tough things are. But like it's just very different than Jeff 6 years ago getting shot at. Like, how do I make money? How can I get this chiropractor to pay me? Like, um, and it's so weird how fast that mindset shift can happen. It feels like it takes forever, but like in the grand scheme of things, it can happen so fast. And then like once you know the blueprint or formula, or like start to look at things different. And I always heard it from other marketers or other people in like the business space. Like as soon as you just start focusing on how to help people get what they want, you'll never want again yourself. And it's so cool to be in that like spot. But so many people are still like, I get it, survival mode, and just like, I just want to pick you up and shake you because like focus on these things.
Let me show you the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. So, can we talk about something not so serious and more fun now? We've
Yeah, I think
already,
I'm out of tissue, so yeah, please.
okay. So, I gotta know, what
Yeah.
is like your dream vacation? Like, if money was not even a thing and neither was time, you had a whole week to go somewhere absolutely amazing. Where would that be?
Oh, that's a really good question. It's gonna sound maybe weird. I don't ever think of vacation like so. What I'm marching toward is I'm creating a life where I do want to travel a lot. Like me and my wife love traveling. We love road tripping. I don't like flying, but like I love road tripping and just seeing. And I never used to, which is weird. Like I like national parks and stuff like that. But I'm working toward creating this life where we travel a lot, and I get to work with businesses in different areas and for free. Like we're doing a lot of stuff here, like networking events. They think I'm up to something. I'm like, I will truly help you for free as long as we can record it. I don't want your money, et cetera. But I want to do that and like be able to travel all over the US, but then all over everywhere else. Like my wife loves a vacation. Me, vacation is torture. Like if I'm going somewhere and not doing something, I don't feel right. Like I have to be doing something. Like that is my idea of a vacation. So if I had to pick a finite amount of time, 7 days, and go somewhere, I would do something where I'm going and working with a bunch of businesses and like fixing their businesses or something like that. That would be the ultimate dream vacation, which sounds crazy. But like I said, I'm just marching toward this life where I travel, do business. Me and my wife try coffee shops and bookstores, and like the thrifting thing is really cool, like going to Goodwill, which sounds crazy, like, but like, oh, it's so fun. Like I just love seeing other parts of the world.
I love
That's,
that.
Yeah.
When you love what you do for a living, you really don't need a vacation from it.
exactly. I love my life every day.
I love it. So, where did
Well,
you
and
meet
you
your
work
wife?
with
I'm
great
so
people too.
go ahead.
Sorry, Rachel.
It makes it easy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The people around me make it easy.
So, where did you meet your wife?
Uh, Funny story. So, what was it back when we had an ice storm here in Texas, and like when I say ice storm, like the roads, there was like 6 inches of ice on the ground. Like you couldn't go anywhere. It broke the power grid. And I think it was like a few weeks before that, I had decided to test my luck with dating apps. I got on Tinder. I got literally banned the first day, and I didn't do anything on Tinder, like, which was weird. And then I got on this other app called Bumble. And just like finding people. And I saw her on there, and I saw her Instagram, and I added her on Instagram. And I don't do the online dating thing, so I was like shy. So like added her on Instagram, and that was like the extent of the online dating thing. And I forgot about it. And then the ice storm hit, and like literally power grid went out. At this time, my condo was like all glass windows. So like it got down to 22 degrees in my apartment because there was no electricity. And I was wearing, no joke, like 5 layers of clothes, big trench coat on top of like other coats and stuff like that. But I was being funny about it, and I was like making stories on Instagram. I was like, man, look at how fresh I look and this and that. And she had like DM'd me and said, "Oh man, you look fresh with like 4 H's." And I was like, 4 H is a little flirty. So started messaging back, and I had, we had nothing else to do because the ice storm. So like I'm sitting like freezing my butt off on the couch or sitting in my car in the parking garage, like trying to warm up, just texting back and forth. And just talking about how crazy it was, like that, the power had been off for like 3 days, and I'm sleeping in my car eating Vienna sausages out of a can because that's like all I had for food. And she's like, "Yeah, no, I totally get it. I'll have to take myself out to a nice dinner after this or something." And I was like, "How about we take ourselves out to a nice dinner after this?" And she was like, she's like, "Oh, that sounds good. Who's coming to who?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh, I live in San Antonio, and I'm in Austin, so that's like an hour and a half away." And I was like, "Oh crap, okay." I was like, "Let's hop on FaceTime and paper, rock, scissors. Whoever loses, they have to come to the other person." So we hopped on FaceTime, paper, rock, scissors, drove out there to San Antonio. Ended up spending the day out there. We did like dinner twice and went to like Andretti out there, raced go-karts. But after that, I mean, the rest was history. We just hit it off. Weirdest part is that night we were walking and talking around her. She lived in like this really nice condos with this, I don't know, community area with this nice gazebos and stuff. And we were walking around talking, and I was already feeling like the connection there. And then she was talking. She's like, "Yeah, my mom, she's one of 14." And I was like, "Hold up, what?" I was like, "My mom is one of 14 children." Like, and I was like, that was just so weird to me. But anyways, after that, we just kept finding excuses to go and meet each other. And then, the rest was history. So my first time ever meeting somebody from an online dating app, and I ended up marrying her.
I love it. I talked to my husband for 4 hours on the phone before I ever met him, and I
Oh,
just
dang.
knew I was going to marry him.
That's awesome.
I just
It's
knew it.
weird. Like, you just know it, right? It's
Mhm.
for a guy saying that, like me, like it feels cheesy and corny saying that stuff, but like you just kind of know, like it's almost like that love at first sight type of thing, which you
Yeah.
see in movies. Like, I mean, that's really what it was. I remember I always say like she was waddling down the stairs, like, I remember her coming down the stairs and like flicked her little hair back. And I was like, yep,
She's
You're right.
beautiful.
yeah,
You got a
she,
lovely wife.
she is. Thank you very much.
He
Yeah.
said, "Hello, Miss Lopez."
Yeah. Yeah. Mrs. Lopez now. Yeah.
I love it.
You're Mrs. Lopez.
So before we go ahead and end this awesome meeting, which it has been so nice getting to know you better
Likewise. Yeah.
on a totally different level, and actually kind of unexpectedly, I love this side of you. I love it. Um, so before we go, though, is there anything else that you think that everyone watching and listening, do you think that they might be surprised to know about you that you want to?
Surprised to know about me. Only thing that always comes to mind. I mean, I'm kind of like you get what you see in person. I'm quirky and stuff like that. I think the thing that surprises people. I mean, Marla probably already knows. I wear the same black T-shirts, and I love to shop at Kohl's and buy discount clothes. like no matter how successful I get, I still love shopping and getting some cheap deals at like Kohl's and stuff. So I think that's probably the most surprising thing. Other than that, I mean, what you see online is what you get. I'm exactly the same, just maybe a little less filter offline. So
Yeah.
I'm so like you, Jeff. It's like I'll
yeah.
have. I guarantee I got 20 different little black T-shirts, and
Yeah.
every day. If you see me, it's just know it's one of 20, not one of one.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I wear the same thing almost every day. This week I've been like trying to jazz it up a little bit, but everybody thinks I'm wearing the same thing, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, like this is me.
Well, I got you guys beat because I am in pajamas all the time, unless I'm on camera. So,
Hey, well, you're in a position where you can do that. So some people aspire for that. Yeah.
right? Yeah, I'm living the dream, man. I'm living the dream.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jeff. We really appreciate it.
I
Thank
appreciate you guys having me. It's truly an honor. I appreciate both of y'all.
You're an awesome guy. The more I get to know you, the more I love you. So appreciate you being here.
Likewise. Yeah. It's always cool, like getting a little deeper stories and like finding those similarities. So very cool being on here. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode of Leverage and Lead. Bye.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was so, so awesome. I really mean it when I say that I was pleasantly surprised about this side of Jeff And I feel like I know him on a whole other level. Was surprised to hear about his dad, because, like I said, my biological dad was in and out of prison too. So I think a lot of times, when we hear these types of things, um, it's kind of surprising the common ground that we have with people that we maybe don't realize until we get into these conversations.
Absolutely. And I'm also, I have two family members in prison, and not something that I've talked about with anyone ever. And so it's really hard, it's hard to talk about, but it's also incredible to see that there are other people that have walked that walk. And I think that is part of the beauty of what we're bringing to the community, is that there are real people that are going through real things at different places in their lives, and they are thriving in spite of the circumstances that they had. They did not let that hold them back. And, if you look at Jeff's story, it could have gone in any different direction, but he really leaned into the discomfort and forced himself to be the best version of himself. And it's just beautiful that he was able to share that story with us.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we can easily fall into victim mentality
Mhm.
and say, you don't understand because this and this and this.
Mhm.
We could do that. Or we could say, yes, this happened to me, but this doesn't define me. It's going to be the fuel to my fire. And when I reach this goal, whatever it is I want it to be, I'm going to come back and I'm going to inspire other people to say, look, I've been through all of this stuff and I overcame it. So you have no excuse. Now, here's my hand. Let me help you up. I think that's the best thing that anybody can do. It doesn't even have to be a financial success or, any of that. It can just be emotionally working through something and then helping other people work through that as well. It's moving past the obstacles and the walls that we build ourselves, I think.
Yeah. And I think, if we look back on the podcast with Matt and then the podcast with Jeff, I definitely see some similarities there of pushing past the comfort and sharing, whether it's Jeff sharing at a kiosk in a mall, where it was uncomfortable. And I'm sure having to hear no 100 times to get a yes, right? And, Matt sharing on social media when it wasn't comfortable for him. It really, business and entrepreneurship is about stepping outside of what's comfortable, and seeing these different podcast guests defined what was uncomfortable and now into what is comfortable, or at least pushing past and doing it anyway. It's just mind blowing. And I love it so much.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think honestly, and you probably feel the same way,
Mhm.
but just doing these podcasts and having these conversations with these amazing business owners, it just confirms more to me that we really need this podcast.
Right.
I
I mean, I know it's good for me, and it's got to be great for other people too, right?
Mhm,
To be able to see that, look, they've been right where I am. There's no reason I can't push through and keep going.
mhm. Yeah, and to notice the patterns,
Mhm.
the resiliency. It's like we weren't all born with silver spoons in our mouths, and it's actually the opposite. It's like we all had things that we had to overcome, but it's building that inner strength and that confidence of even if it's kind of fake confidence,
Mhm.
I'm going to do this because there's no other option.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
love
love
it.
it. Love it. I'm so thankful that Jeff came on the show, on the podcast today, and was able to share a little bit about himself and the struggles that he went
Yeah.
through. It was great.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and join the Leverage and Lead private community for life coaching 4 days a week at leverageandlead.com. We'll see you inside.